Hi all. I am going to do another collage paper technique today. Now, many of you have seen me do this in my little tiny composition book that I do collage in. This technique works as background. It also works as tear-ups for collage paper. I really like this technique. It's fun. It's quick. It gives you interesting backgrounds, interesting pieces of paper to work with. I'm going to call it slap and drag because that's the best thing I could think of to call it. Oh shoot, that doesn't, it needs to be put back in here. For this, I am actually going to use some heavier bodied paints. These are Bria Reese paints. These are acrylic. You could do it with craft paint. It works pretty much the same way. I just grabbed these out. I wanted to use these today. Like I said, it doesn't matter. These will take longer to dry. This much I will tell you. I'll have to wait, stop in the middle to come back and show you papers because they'll probably be kind of wet. The paint is a little thicker in this too, so that is something you need to think about. Don't lay them on top of one another right away. And you're going to need something plastic. Now you could use this is what I use to dry my papers on. This is freezer paper, and it's plastic on one side. You could use something like that. I happen to have this Teflon sheet. I keep it on my table all the time. It works perfectly for this. You want something that's the paint will spread out on. A glass, if you have a glass mat, that would work too. Anything that's slick and not going to let the paint sink into it. If you try to do this on paper, it doesn't work as well. So we're just going to put out several little dots of paint. And I'm putting larger dots out because I'm going to do a bigger piece of paper than I would have for my little composition book. And I might need more paint than that for a bigger sheet. We'll have to find out. And I'm just going to use a piece of copy paper today, but you could use book paper. It'd be fun to do it on book paper because then you'd have the writing behind your paint, which I think would be very interesting. I'm just going to slap it down and drag my paper across. And I'm going to do this several times. Then I look at it and I say, oh, well, my corners are not getting painted. This is kind of messy. I have to tell you, it's one of those messy processes. And I just kind of keep putting it down until I feel like my paper is kind of covered up enough and given me enough different looks that I want. Also, after a certain amount of time, the paint that's on the plastic has thinned out and it's not going to let you pick up much more. But I really like how when you drag it, it gives you different looks, and by dragging it different directions, you get different looks. So that is one of the things I like. I'm going to do a couple more pieces of paper today because I don't care what the colors are exactly. I'm just going to leave that paint there. If I was doing my little book, I'd probably pick up the paint with a baby wipe and clean it up. So the other thing I'm going to do is I just realized that this is shifting again, which it doesn't usually. So I'm going to double sticky tape it down because I don't like it when it shifts. Okay, so these are by no means dry enough to stack them up, but that's all right. I can show them to you. Um, of all the days for my Teflon mat not to stay stuck to the table, it's normally stuck just fine. So I'm going to have to find the carpet tape and stick it down again. Just one of those days. But I love these backgrounds. I love the idea of cutting this paper up. There are some beautiful little spots in here where the little dots are on that. That little chunk of paper right there just is it just yummy. There's another spot down here. Um, so these papers could be just a flat out background for your collage, but they also could be taken apart and used just little bits of, and they will make me very happy. Let's see here. I did go ahead and do one on book paper because I wanted you to see what it would look like. And let's put that back down further. I really like how this one came out. There's texture as well. When you slap and drag, sometimes you get this, there you can see it, this raised texture on the paint. You get different looks each time. So that is a real fun thing to be doing with these. Like I said, I like to use them as little tiny pieces. So, but they could also be great backgrounds. There again, see there's little dots on there. There's lines. By doing it multiple times, that's another thing. You get different little spots where you've laid it back down in the paint again. Like right here. Can you see that? And there. So you've got all of these little, almost like little galaxies in there. Kind of cool. But in cleaning up, I wanted to remind you that there's also this really cool piece of baby wipe that's got some really interesting colors on it. Both sides are a little bit different because you open and close the baby wipe. And when this dries, it's a different kind of texture. This one doesn't have enough paint on it yet, but if I use it to clean up again, it would have other colors. You know what I'm saying? And the texture of this has a little bit of a fuzziness, so it gives you even more texture. So actually, I'm showing you 2 kinds of collage paper today. Yay! Anyways, guys, go have fun. Make some art. Bye-bye.